How significant was that when you saw police right at the beginning put out their faces, their names, and not call them suspects, but say, we do want to talk to you?
So it is out of the ordinary for law enforcement to state the names and also show the photographs of individuals that they're looking to question, looking for information, but not saying that they're suspects or had anything to do with the abduction or the death of Michael Vaughan. Because as you can see towards the end of that press conference, the law enforcement chief Huss was saying that we hope that you do contact law enforcement so we can be able to talk to you, because they do have information to believe that they were inside of the house at some point during the time period of Michael Vaughan's disappearance, but they're not saying that they had any involvement in the abduction or the death of Michael Vaughan. So it's a little bit out of the ordinary, because usually you wouldn't put out the names and photographs of eyewitnesses or witnesses to the public because it can cause harm to them.
Michael's mom, Brandi Neal, told KTVB Wednesday she and a family friend who runs Clutch Them Pearls on YouTube posted the video this week in hopes it would spur activity in the case. She says they unexpectedly received the evidence last spring as part of a records request. Last, Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff told me he knows where Lucien and Shirtliff are, but wouldn't say more since it's an active investigation. He did say this afternoon, though, that one of the suspects reached out to the department today. And Brandi said that she doesn't want her decision to post the video to discredit any of the hard work that the Fruitland Police Department has done. She says they've really worked tirelessly on the case.
But she does hope to spark some sort of movement on this, I'm guessing, by putting it out in the public. And do we know how they got this, or what is Fruitland Police saying about it?
Fruitland Police, they just told me that the video was mistakenly released,
So
that they wouldn't have released it because it's part of their case file.
Yeah, because usually that's not what happens. They don't release stuff that is still part of an active investigation. All right, thank you very much, Abby.
In response to the video footage released on January 15, 2025, we want to clarify that the video was inadvertently made public in 2023 following a public records request to the Washington County Sheriff's Office, where Stacey Wandra was being held at the time. The Fruitland Police Department and the Payette County Prosecutor's Office are not responsible for the release of the footage. In 2023, we submitted our case, including a probable cause affidavit, to the Payette County Prosecutor. Please note that the Fruitland Police Department does not control the pace of prosecution. However, we remain dedicated to investigating every lead and tip and will continue gathering evidence to support a successful prosecution. We are in communication with a suspect in this case, and our hope is to gather more details that will lead us to Michael's remains. As previously stated, we ask for your continued patience. If you have any information that could help locate Michael, we urge you to come forward. Please keep Michael in your prayers. Tainting a jury pool means to contaminate the group of potential jurors with prejudicial bias, essentially influencing their opinions before they even hear the case details, making it difficult to select a fair and impartial jury for a trial. This can happen through factors like extensive media coverage, personal connections to the case, or biased information about the defendant, potentially leading to an unfair outcome. In a highly publicized murder case where the defendant is well known, extensive media coverage could lead to many potential jurors already believing the defendant is guilty.
But
that's a hell of a coincidence.
I gave them a direction.
I mean, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, Stacey?
I feel you, and I get that. But
that's a hell of a coincidence.
I gave them a direction. Okay, this is where I know that it was a lie, because that dog may have hit in the backyard, but the direction and area that I pointed to him, the dogs did not hit around at that house in the backyard. I told them he was literally buried directly across from the patio.
Well, you know, the main
Were you
thing
offered a deal, like a cooperation deal?
They offered this before they dug the yard, and they said that they would give me a 15+7, but in the condition that I would tell them where the body is. And I said, I don't know where the body is.
Currently, or you did in the past?
I have never known where the body is.
I just don't understand why you would lie to the feds about saying that there's a body in the backyard.
You have to understand it coming from my point of view and my mental disability that I suffer with, like, not as an excuse, but
what's your mental disability?
I have Peter Alcohol syndrome. I have Asperger's. have autism, which is Asperger's, bipolar, intermittent explosive disorder. They did not specify where the dogs hit. They said they hit in the backyard. I told them where it made up again, where he was buried, which was directly across when you walk out the back patio door. It was directly straight across, right in the middle of the fence, in the middle of the yard. They didn't specify where he was hit. They said that they dug by the shed and that the dogs had hit around the shed area. That's what I've been told. But I know for a fact that when I gave them that location, they literally, I watched it on video when they were digging at that spot. Detective was on the phone with me.
Mm-hmm.
They dug nothing up. The dogs did not hit in that spot. I watched them.
Mm-hmm.
But
I just find it so crazy when he describes this exact spot in between the porch and the fence in the middle of the yard, how he's acting, his facial expressions and everything else. Everybody knows I'm a huge crime junkie. I almost feel like he's telling the truth at that particular location. Like he really, I don't know. What do you think, Kalia?
I don't know if I misheard it or what, but I feel like I just heard him say that's where that's where Michael was buried.
As long as we're able to find Michael and that goes hand in hand with what you told us, then I would be led to believe you more than I would be led to believe Sarah. Yeah. And so if there's anything that you can help us out with about where to look, what they've done, if there's any specific side in the yard, anything that you may have forgot. Yeah. I'll definitely let you guys know. Like I said, all I've got for you is where I pointed you. You know, you could check the corner of the yard. Like I said, Sarah, could have done something with it when I wasn't home. Knowing that she knew that I had seen where she was digging. So maybe she just wanted to keep, try to, keep it as confusion.
Is there anything that you found so far that concerns you, or is it still just a process?
Other than utility lines, no.
Okay. Can you speak on the canine dogs out here? I mean, did they alert on anything, or?
I'm not going to speak to the indications that dogs may or may not have given us, but I will confirm the fact that we do have remains scent dogs on site.
Okay.
And have that.
And can you talk about where the dirt's going? Is it going to be analyzed?
The dirt is going to a location off-site where it will be processed.
I have one more for you. Are you confident in this backyard? Like, is this something that you think you'll find answers from?
I don't know how to answer that. We just have to continue to process this, and if it yields, it yields. I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword. Do I hope? Not really. I hope that Michael's still alive and that we can bring him home safely to his gang. But we also know that we need to find resolution to this case, and we need to just follow the leads and follow the credible information, and that's what we'll continue to do.
So you can't speak to anything about what, the probable cause that led you here?
Yeah.
So, now that that's out of the way, is there more to the reason why that footage was released? I think so. Maybe step back from the big creators who think they know this case. And let's start from the beginning, because that's where we're headed.
True Crime with Eve.